Hello everyone, my name is Tomco and today I'm showing you how to make an absolutely massive 6x6 piston door. Right, so when we press this button, it reveals our dodecahedron Goliath of a door. I think I just called it 10-sided. I am so cooked. But anyways, once it's open, we can walk in through and close it behind us once more by whacking that little button. And yes, the back is not as nice as the front, but it's also not terrible, especially if your favorite color is green and orange. I'm sure you're living your best life right now. Plus its animation is just really cool. Like, look at that. Right, so taking a look at it, this is it. It is literally 3 blocks wide, plus you can expand it all the way up to 12 blocks long for the one person out there that wants that. And just as a final benefit, there isn't even too much non-sticky blocks in the walls themselves. By the way, becoming a Patreon supporter or channel member gives you access to all of my world downloads, priority redstone help, and you can even influence what I build next. So if you're interested or just want to support me doing what I love, there's links for you to find out more in the description. But anyways, with that, let me show you how to build it. Alright, so to build it, you're going to need a 3 blocks wide by 10 blocks long by 18 blocks tall area. And then these grass blocks, they represent your floor level, and these iron blocks, they represent the first level of your door. So these over here are the same as these 6 iron blocks over there. And in case you're wondering, your floor level is exactly 6 blocks off the ground. So hopefully you can use this to line up your door correctly. And then to build it, this is everything you're going to need. Bear in mind, they are 2 droppers, not dispensers. Please do not use dispensers. And then 20 glazed terracotta blocks, so they can be any block in the game that doesn't stick to slime. For example, obsidian, crying obsidian, bedrock, I guess. But glazed terracotta is probably the cheapest. And of course, bring yourself some boner blocks to actually build it. But once you've got everything, we can start. Alright, so to start off, you want to get sticky pistons, honey, and slime blocks out. And you want to find your center 2 blocks. So this one, and this one. You then place 2 sticky pistons, both of which facing upwards, just like that, and 1 more on either side. So 1 more over here, and 1 more over here. So you have 4 in a line. Then to add 2 more rows on top of this. So 1 more row, and another row. Then come to the right hand side and get your slime blocks out. You want to crouch, and place 3 slime blocks on top of each other. 3. Then, one next to it, place 3 honey blocks. One next to that, place 3 slime blocks, and you guessed it, another row of honey blocks. Now it's very important that it does go slime, honey, slime, honey. They have to alternate and they cannot touch each other, I promise you. I then recommend you remove your guide blocks since they're no longer going to be needed. But jump down to the bottom and you want to get your redstone dust out, slabs and your glazed terracotta blocks, whatever you substituted with. You want to come round to the back. You need to place a line of redstone dust just directly behind these sticky pistons. Come up a block, a line of half slabs. It's very important, by the way, these half slabs on the top half of the block, so not down here, they're up here. Then on top of this, run a line of redstone dust. Then get some scaffolding blocks out, come up a few blocks. You can place glazed terracotta blocks on top of all of your dust, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then run another line of dust along all of those. Just like so, and you can remove your scaffolding blocks. Then come around to the front again, and you want to run a line of slabs across all these bottom sticky pistons with, you guessed it, more redstone dust on top of those. So far it looks like this from the side. Then looking at it from the front, you want to come to the right hand side. You're going to place 2 pieces of dust here, an extra one here so you kind of have it in a right shape, well, an R shape, you know what I mean. But you want to get yourself a repeater out and some more solid blocks. You want to place a 1 delay repeater going into this dust, solid block behind it, dust on top of that block, another repeater coming away from that block, so this repeater is facing towards the front of your build, but you want to set this to 4 ticks, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, another solid block in front of this repeater, redstone repeater coming away from this block, going into another solid block, you want to place another repeater on top of this block, going into this dust. Keep this repeater as it is. Then get yourself a dropper and observer out, place a dropper on top of this block, and crouch and place an observer facing left away from this dropper, so this redstone dart is pointing into your repeater. It's very important it's orientated this way. You then to make your way round to the back, you're going to place 2 blocks to the left of these half slabs, jump up, place a repeater here, set that to 3 ticks, dust behind the repeater, crouch, place an observer on top of this redstone dust, so it's pointing upwards. You can see this arrow is pointing towards the sky. Just on top of this observer, block separating these two redstone lines. Trust me, you don't want them to connect. Block to the right of this observer, repeater going towards that block, with a piece of redstone dust just behind this dropper. Well no, on top of the dropper. You then want to jump up onto this terracotta, so big jump. Parkour skills, gotta love it. You want to crouch, there's another observer on top of this repeater. Just on top of that observer, 2 blocks to the left of this observer, so that's 1, 2. Comparator going towards the dust. You want to right click it so this little light at the front turns on and you put it into subtract mode. Just behind this comparator, block on top of that repeater, 4 to the repeater here, like so, block to the left, just on top of that like so, then take a step back so it looks like this so far. You then get a torch out, you want to come up a few temporary blocks, you're going to place a block here, redstone torch to the right of it, it will do this, don't worry, that's fine. Block on top of the repeater, no, block on top of the torch, that will actually finish the extension, on a redstone torch to the left of that, then get out your lever, and whack it on the front of this block. You can then remove your temporary blocks. So bear in mind, this block is going to be your input block, so if you want to move the lever or attach anything else into this door, that's the block you have to wire it up into. But I'll talk more about that later on. But for now, we can actually test this out. So if you flick it, it should all retract. Awesome, and then we flick it again, it all gets extended. Perfect, but for now keep it flicked down so the door's actually in its open state. You then want to make your way around to the top of the build. Place another piece of dust on top of this block. Solid block to the left of that dust. Get out a regular piston. You want to place it to the left of this block. Just like so. Then place a redstone block on top of this piston. Solid block on top of the redstone block. Redstone block. Solid block. And finally redstone block. So you made yourself a little tower of blocks. Good for you. Then come up with 3 temporary blocks. So 1, 2, 3. You want to remove the bottom 2 blocks. Come down again. You want to place a regular piston facing downwards on the top temporary block. Just like so. We can then remove these 2 blocks since they're no longer needed. Then come round to the side again. You're going to place solid blocks next to all these redstone blocks. You're going to place dust on top of all the new blocks you just placed. So 1 here, and 1 there. You then want to get your sticky pistons out. Come down here. To the right of this block, you want to place a sticky piston. You need to place 5 more on top of this, so you have 6 in total. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if you were to count, there is 6 there. Then on the top of these sticky pistons, place redstone dust again, get out a half slab, place it to the right of this regular piston, 2 more pieces of dust on top of that. So now we have our first, right pistons all done. Now we just need to do the left. But so far what you should notice is that when you close it, all these sticky pistons get extended, and when you open it again, they all get retracted. But to do the left hand side, you first want to get another regular piston out. Place a temporary block below your lever. Piston facing left, just like so. Destroy this temporary block. Place 4 blocks in a line, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Another redstone block at the end of this. Come out 3 temporary blocks, so 1, 2, 3. Remove the first 2. And place a regular piston on this block, facing the opposite direction that one's facing over there. Remove the temporary block behind it. Go round to the back again. Block below this piston. Block in front of it and block to the left. Remove the first 2 blocks you placed. Just on top of this block, with a target block to the right of that dust, or to the left of that piston, depending on how you want to look at it. But then make your way round to the front again. You need to place a dust on top of this piston and it should extend just like so. So now, in fact, when we open it or close it, this gets pushed back, and then when we close it again, it gets pushed forward. But come round to your target block. You want to come up a few blocks. You want to place a redstone torch on top of the target block. Block on top of the redstone torch. Just on top of that block. Temporary block to the left. Get out another regular piston. And then you want to do what we did over there, but to this side, so it's kind of just mirrored. So, redstone block on top of the piston. Block. Redstone block. Block, redstone block, come up with 3 temporary blocks, remove the first 2, piston facing downwards, remove the top block, blocks to the right of all these redstone blocks, just on top of all those newly placed blocks, get out your sticky pistons, but this time face them the opposite direction to those ones, so that's 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 6 in total. Dust on top of these. Half slab up here with 2 pieces of dust on top of that like so. So now if we remove these temporary blocks we placed earlier and then close it, both sides now get extended. And they both get retracted. Awesome. So now all we have to do is the top. So looking at it from the front, you want to come to the top right side. Just like so. Get out another target block. You're going to place a temporary block to the left of this piston. Just like so. Whack your target block on top of that. Then to the left of this temporary block, you want to place a block. But bear in mind you will be able to see this from the inside. So if you want it to look good, make it a good looking block. I'm going to build my good looking blocks out of iron, but you can use any block in the game. Then you'll place 4 glazed terracotta blocks coming away from your good looking block. So 1, 2, 3, 4. But coming back to your glazed terracotta, you can then remove your temporary block, get out repeater, and place a repeater coming away from this target block with dust along all these glazed terracotta blocks. You then want to place another row of glazed terracotta blocks above this, another row of redstone dust. Get out some temporary blocks. You want to come up 2 temporary blocks, so 1, 2. Remove the first one, get out a half slab and place it on the underside of this block. Remove the temporary block, then add another 3 half slabs to the right, so 1, 2, 3. And you guessed it, you're running dust along all of those. Then come around to the front again. Then looking at it from the front, you want to come out 2 blocks from this middle glazed terracotta block, so 1, 2. Solid block up here, with 3 more to the left. And then you guessed it again, dust along all of those blocks. Then come out a block from these slabs, come up 2 blocks, move that block. You then want to place a sticky piston below this, facing downwards, 1 this way, and 2 this way. So you have 4 sticky pistons in a line, all of which facing downwards. You can then place 2 more rows of these below each other. So 1 here, and 1 here. So you have 3 rows of sticky pistons, just like we have down there, just in the opposite orientation. Then get your slime and honey out. You want to come to the far right side. You want to place 3 honey blocks, then 3 slime blocks, 3 honey blocks, and 3 slime blocks. You should notice that where we have slime down here, it's honey above it, slime, you got honey, slime, you got honey, slime, you got honey. So when these 2 get compressed together, the slime won't stick to each other, and vice versa. But then come to the top right side again. You want to place a block on top of this target block, a block to the left of this target block, with a comparator going into that block. Then place a temporary block behind the comparator, 1 going this way. You want to use this to place a dropper facing left, just behind that comparator. Then remove your 2 temporary blocks, get out your hopper, and place a hopper going into the dropper. So if I were to fly out, you can see it's going towards it. It has to look like this. Then you can throw any random item into that dropper. I'm going to just throw in a piece of dirt, since it's useless. But then come back around to the block in front of this comparator. As you can see, the comparator should now be on. You're going to place a redstone torch to the side of this block with a solid block in front of it, just like so. Then come out a block to the right of this block. Place a repeater going towards the back. Set that to 4, 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Crouch and place an observer coming away from this repeater. As you can see, the arrow is facing away from it. You then want to come around to this hopper. You want to crouch again. Place a repeater on top of that hopper. A solid block on top of this dropper. And an observer coming away from that observer going into this solid block. Not like that, like that. As you can see, this arrow is pointing towards that block. Then on top of this block, and place another repeater, the same direction that one's facing, but you want to set this 1, 2, 3 tick. So 1, 2, 3. You then want to crouch and place a block on top of this repeater. Just on top of that block, you then want to place a block up here separating these 2 redstone lines from connecting. A block to the right of that sticky piston, another repeater here, set that to 2 ticks. Block in front of it, just on top of that block to the right of that block, and a repeater going into this redstone line, just like so. You then want to get your half slabs out. You want to come down over here. You're going to place a temporary block to the left of this block. Half slab on the top half of the block. Remove that block. Same thing for this block, so a half slab there. Same thing over here. You then want to place a solid block here with another half slab here, just like so. You then want to run redstone dust across all the blocks you just placed. So it looks like that. And finally, you can remove your temporary dirt block we placed a while ago now. But now we can actually test it. So when we flick it, it all closes. Awesome. And when we open it, it should all open. Perfect. Now we just need to place in our door blocks and decorate it, but keep watching since it's very easy to make mistakes and break the entire thing. So to begin with, you want to place your door blocks in front of all the slime and honey. So 3 here, 3 here, 3 here, and 3 here. The same thing for the bottom. So 3 here, 3 here, 3 here, and 3 here. Then run door blocks along all your side sticky pistons, like so. But now you have a bit of a decision to make. So you could either run glazed terracotta blocks going all the way around your slime and honey, just like so, or you could replace it with regular blocks, but they will get carried up and down with your door. So yes, this will look better when it's open, but when it's closed, it may look a bit weird when it's opening as you have random floating blocks. But that's just a choice of preference. But for this example, I'm going to switch them back to being glazed terracotta blocks. And then for the top, you could have regular blocks on the side, but you're going to have glazed terracotta blocks here anyway, so I suggest just carrying on with the theme. But everything else, you can decorate it however you want to. By the way, if you wanted to extend this, all you have to do is take this section here, move it down until you've reached the length you want your door to be, then copy and paste this column over and over again until you've breached the gap. Make sure to alternate your honey and slime. So as you can see for this one, I pretty much just moved this section to the left more, and then copy and pasted this middle bit, but make sure to alternate your slime and honey like I have done over there. But it's more easy to see from the back. I've literally just copy and pasted this and dragged it to fill in the gaps between these two sides. Right, so I've just gone ahead and added a floor and a wall. Hopefully you decorated better than I have. But I've also moved the lever simply by attaching it to a redstone line, connecting to a repeater going in towards this input block, which I talked about earlier. But as you can see, when we flick it, the door opens. Awesome. Then when we flick it again, it all closes. Perfect. By the way, if you wanted to add buttons, pressure plates, even tripwire hooks to this build, there will be a video on the screen shortly that will help you, or there's a link to it in the description down below. But anyways, that's the door done. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comment section or join the Discord server. That is by far the best place to contact me. But that's all for me, and I'll see you all later. Have fun with your awesome and mega 6x6 door. Bye.